The SFL Postgame Show is on the air. Open line 210-473-8428. Final scores from tonight's action. Tallahassee gets the victory over NYC, but they had to fight for it. 37-27. The final. The Pride improved to 3-3. Meanwhile, Orlando has lost 2 straight. 9:04. You're on the SFL postgame show.
Ray Gooden.
Coach Gooden, this game was about a new receiver being born on the field tonight. Kenny G. Wow. Talk about a player. Did he come to you a couple of weeks ago and say, Coach, take the chains off me, take the handcuffs off me. I got this. I can do this.
Yeah, he did. He was respectful about it, but he definitely wanted to be unleashed. So we had to do everything we could to open it up for him.
You get to play Orlando, who's a bit down on their luck right now. They did not have a sharp night. Outside a couple of big runs from Zach Parker, their offense really did nothing in this game, and they have fallen to 3-3. You have an opportunity to, even after the slow start, get back to second place in the South. Is that the only thing you have to worry about, Zach Parker, or are there other things?
That's a good question. I haven't really turned my attention to Orlando yet. This is a in-state rivalry, so all bets are always off. We always play each other really well, right from my first season in the league. So, I'm trying to soak up this win because it was a long time coming. Glad to get off this. We had a 3-game losing streak going there, so. I'll turn my attention to Orlando to see what we can do, but I'm expecting nothing but the A game from them.
This was Alexander West's maybe his finest performance, and I'll look up some stats and some numbers on him to maybe get a confirmation on that while you're answering my question. But Alexander West, a 142.5 quarterback rating tonight, 18 of 26 for 276 yards, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions against a pretty decent NYC pass defense. This is it's going to be a head scratcher for you because you sort of build this offense because Alexander West proved that maybe he couldn't handle being a leader in the offense. And then all of a sudden in the last 2 weeks, Alexander West looks like he can lead an offense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a head scratcher because I didn't even see this game coming either. Frankly, we wanted to run the ball just a little bit more. Once we got into the flow of the play calling, some of those passes seemed to work, and so they stuck. They stuck with it. The quarterback changing the plays at the line of scrimmage and getting some passes in there to Kenny G. I think they were collaborating there a little bit to get in the game. And he did come through this game and show that he can lead the team and that we don't have to put it all on Dwayne Lane's shoulders.
How short our memories are. March 3rd, 2016, Alexander West had a perfect quarterback rating. Do you remember who that was against?
Oh, man. Was it Dallas?
No, it was Santa Fe.
Santa Fe.
which seems silly now to talk about. 15 of 19, 305 yards and 3 scores in that game. He just he really played well tonight. The offense played well tonight. Sultan Muhammad had a great game. Of course, he had a great game against Oklahoma City. He seems to play much better at home. But overall, what did you think of your defense's performance tonight? Because I know that's what Tallahassee has prided itself on. And in these last couple of wins, The defense has not been as prolific, or I should say, tonight the defense wasn't as prolific, yet it turned into a victory for you.
Well, here's the thing. I really, for that entire first quarter, they were on fire.
Right.
I think, energized the team. It felt like New York City wasn't going to be able to get a pass off without it being a pick for the first, maybe 15 minutes of the game. It was crazy. And then inexplicably they gave up. We gave up some big plays, which wasn't quite expected. And then we came right back with another slew of picks. I count 4 or 5, maybe even 6, something like that. We just had a crazy number of interceptions tonight. And so that's what I'm looking for. I want this team to live off of turnovers. So we don't mind giving up yards. In this particular case, we gave up more points than we wanted. Fortunately, the offense had such a great game offensively that we were able to, still win with, relatively convincingly.
Orlando's 3-3, Minneapolis is 3-3, Baltimore's 3-3, Oklahoma City's 3-3. You are 3-3. Besides you, who is the team that scares you the most that's 3-3 right now?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say the team that I'm probably still looking out for is the team we're going to play next, Orlando. They're a stronger team than say a 3-3 record might seem to indicate, and they always, or it seems like they always finish well. They're a finishing team,
right?
So yeah, I think really Orlando is who I'm looking at out of these 3-3 teams as the team that I need to make sure that we try to stay ahead of.
This is your third season in this league. I think you would say that you have grown attached to this league, maybe even love this league.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What is your sort of summary of how the first 6 weeks of the SFL has gone as the maker of the SFL documentary? Where do you think we're at, and where do you think that we can be maybe in 2017, Jan 1?
Well, great question. I think, first of all, I really like just our collection overall of owners and folks who are just running the teams. Just a really, really nice profile. I even want to give a little respect to the opponent tonight, Nakia. Even though it feels like he's kind of fighting, he's trying to get things going as well. But even so, there wasn't any, salt or anything. It's still a respectful owner, respectful game, and just the kind of people that we have, first and foremost, respectful. Every now and then you're going to have the, heated conversations because we all are competitors and we all want to win. But overall, we just have a great group of guys. And then you talk about the overall profile that I see so far of the league, starting with you right from the top. It seems like we continue to grow. I think that this mini experiment that we had of growing the league with adding human players is working out. It doesn't seem like it could have worked out any better. We had ups and downs because whenever you add new people, you're going to have challenges, but we're overcoming them really nicely. And, as the maker of the documentary, I'm looking forward to doing more, pretty much whatever I can to help grow it because I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think that overall we are just simply slowly putting forward a great product that's going to have us grow slowly but surely. And, for me, the outlook is good. Like you say, I do love the league and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Frank Gooden, owner of the Tallahassee Pride, ends his 3-game losing streak tonight. Queen City ends their 4-game slide. Frank, we appreciate the time.
All right, and a great game to Coach Kia. Thanks.
All right, thanks, guys. Open line now, 210-473-8428. I want to hear from Crazy 8's 2000. He was fired up. He was representing the Queen City Corsairs tonight. Never give up. And it would be a lot of fun to hear from Freeman Peltier on the call and get another first time call in there. But anyone can call in and share their thoughts. 512, you're on the SFL postgame show. Hello, 512.
Oh, hello.
Hey, who do I have?
This is Kenny G.
Kenny G, are you in Austin?
I'm in a suburb of Austin.
I had no idea. I had no idea you were in Texas. I used to live about 30 miles from there.
Yeah, it's a great area, and it's growing really fast.
Yeah, don't even get me started on 35 through Austin. I just don't want to talk about it. But man, congratulations. You really balled out tonight. Let me give you your final numbers here because they were tremendous. 9 receptions for 178 yards, 3 touchdowns on 12 targets. That has got to make you a super happy man.
Oh, indeed it does.
What was the conversation like with your coaches to say, look, our offense is struggling. The solution is to get me going. What was that convo like?
Well, I tried to be like Frank said, I tried to be nice about it. But it was more, I was willing to trust what Frank had going on. I was ready to believe in the team, and I just was a bit frustrated after the first couple games. But the games like tonight, it's really what you join the SFL. That's what the games that you really dream about. And fortunately for me, it happened to come true tonight.
Yeah, it was sort of a coming out party for you and for the Pride offense, and sort of just bursting on the scene. You're 3-3. And now you've got Orlando ahead of you that's also 3-3. How have your first 6 weeks been in the SFL? What do you like about it, and what do you hope to see in the future of this league?
First things first, I got to give props to the defense. I mean, they've been great, throughout the entire season so far, and I think they're the ones that really kept us in those games. The first 2 or 3 weeks especially, and they didn't perform as well as they usually do tonight, but the offense was able to get going.
What's it like being a player who may not have been the focal point of an offense over the first few weeks? You go to your coach, you say, "Hey, coach, you got to get me in the game. You got to use me for my skills. You got to open things up and let me use what I have." And then to see it on the field and to see the response taken and executed on the field and to turn into a victory, what is that like for a player?
I mean, like I say, the first couple weeks it wasn't terrible to watch, but I was a bit. Whenever I was targeted, it was usually forced by Alex, But went up to Frank, asked him to put some more passing in there, and that's exactly what he did. And it feels wonderful to, get involved in the offense and help this team win.
How'd you find out about the SFL?
Oh, I was going through my YouTube subscription box, and I saw your interview with Brian Mazik.
There you go.
And I clicked on the video, and it really did appeal to me. I've always been a huge fan of sports simulations, and as soon as I saw it, I decided, I'm going to sign up for this.
Awesome. Well, hey, what? You've got Orlando next week, and you got a chance to be second place in the South and get above 500, and look at the Pride now. You'll be in second place in the conference, third place in the conference. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Kenny. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
All right, you too.
All right, Kenny G, the receiver for Tallahassee's huge night. 9 catches, $178, 3 scores on 12 targets. Open line now, and I want to make a point. Shajatovich actually ended up not catching another ball after we got the stats. 10 catches, 108 yards on 11 targets. Jake Legacy had a couple of scores tonight, 9 grabs for 82 yards. Haynes III had 70 yards receiving, and Caswell had 89 yards receiving. So terrific balance for Queen City tonight. 108, 89, 82, and 70 among their top targets. And for the quick math at home, that is 251 yards of Daniel Garcia's 367 tonight on 61 attempts, 44 completions. 954, you're on the SFL postgame show.
Hey, this is Freeman Peltier.
Hey, Mr. Peltier, welcome to the SFL postgame show.
Thanks for having me. You got me.
This has been a rough 4 weeks for Queen City. It hasn't been pretty. The offense certainly still has its issues to work out. However, the defense tonight was just about as good as you can ask for, especially in the second half, and you got to be on top of the world because of it.
Well, I went in there and we were talking as a defense today, and we're like, listen, fellas, we got to put this ship upright again. We got to get this back up and running again. We've been out on the field so much the last 2 or 3 weeks while the offense has been trying to, they've had their moments, but they're trying some new things, and some of it's working, some of it's not. So we just went out there, house of fire tonight, and just kept on it. We knew Orlando was tough. We knew we had to stop Parker, and we didn't really get that going until the second half, but we just kept with it, and, just amazing the way we were playing out there. I can be prouder of the way we did it. And Garcia, he kept the ball moving and he kept it going, and, I'm still trying to figure out why, we're not getting the ball over to Haynes as much as we are, especially if we got the lead late, we got to get it in his hands and let him grind it out. But we did so much better, and, we got to keep it going now. We got 2 tough games coming up with in-division opponents, so let's just keep it going, guys. Get to 500.
That's the amazing thing about the SFL. Everyone looks at Queen City coming into the week, and they say, Queen City, they've lost 4 in a row. They're not going in the right direction. There's something going on there. And then tonight's conversation is, man, we're 1 game out of the division lead, and we got 2 division games in the next 2 weeks, and we could be on top and at 500 in week 8. Isn't it funny how that happens?
Well, it's the SFL, and we got so many teams, like you were saying earlier, that are bunched up at 3-3 and 2-4 right now, and we've always known we were better than our record. We've had some tough games. Listen, we played Cleveland and beat them, and we're just all as a team amazed that Cleveland's 0-6.
Right. I think everybody is. I think it's stunning.
Yeah. But all the way up and down the board, Baltimore's coming out right now as the class of our division, but, you can't sleep on NYC. Everybody's finding that out. You can't sleep on DC. DC's former champion. They're coming back strong, and it's going to be the black and blue division the rest of the way. We're going to be knocking it out, and anybody can come up on top. Anybody can come up on bottom. I think the league just really has a lot of parity this year, and I think that we're going to see a lot of so-called upsets over the next few weeks here, and it's going to be exciting football to watch.
Freeman, how did you find out about the SFL?
Well, this is kind of a funny story. I was getting stuff together for a yard sale, and I came across my copy of All-Pro Football 2K8.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, man, I got to get back into this game. I haven't played it forever, but my Xbox was dead at the time. So I was planning on saving up for another Xbox and searching for articles on All-Pro Football 2K8, and I came across in a Google search something about the simulation football league and what is this, and I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remembered the WAFL.
You knew us
and I
back
think
in the
I had
day?
I think I had seen a couple of WAFL videos
Huh.
before,
Wow.
and
Albie.
so I was getting the stuff together, and I'm looking at the site, and then I see a link that's flashing live game between Tallahassee and Baltimore, and I got to see that second half where DR Sim had that
Right.
awesome. What was it? 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was crazy. He went off in that game, in that loss. Or no, they won that game.
Yeah, they lost that game, but I mean, he had like a phenomenal
Oh, that's
half,
right.
and they almost pulled it off, and I've been addicted to it ever since. Like I couldn't get enough of watching it last season, and then when I saw the Rise as One video that you were doing, I was thinking about. I'm like, I got to get more involved with this. This is just something special going on here. And then what really cinched it for me was watching the game between Houston and Louisville for the
Right.
semifinals last year.
Right. Another DR Sim game.
Another DR Sim game, another big one. You got the touchdown at the end, and that was just, I was like, this league is got some great football going on. This is like every football fan's dream. And, I didn't even think I was going to get drafted when I first signed up. And then, AJ and Eric had just taken me in, and, Alex and I, like, push each other during drills, and we're just, we're coming together as a team, and it's just been an exciting experience to be a part of.
Well, it was an exciting game tonight to sort of see Queen City bring it all together, and we're happy to have you here. Nice job schooling the commissioner too on who won that game too. That doesn't happen often. I have to tell you. So that's good stuff.
I've got
right
memory
there.
like an elephant, they tell me.
Okay, let me try to quiz you again. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, good night for you. Let me give you your final numbers here. You don't. The one thing you're missing this year is that interception, right? You had 5 tackles, 2 passes defended tonight. That's a good night.
Yeah, I just saw that ball coming to me, and I knocked it away. I've been having to step up on the running game. A lot of the running backs know my name now. But, every time I think I've got it in my hands for the interception, it just falls through. We're working on it in the interceptions. We're stepping it up. We got, I think, 2 or 3 picks tonight. So we'll get that up. Our secondary is really playing strong out there, and we, the plan was to get together the secondary this year, and a lot of our draft picks went that way, and we're just coming together as a unit.
Freeman Peltier, thank you so much for your time. Good hearing from you.
All right. Thanks.
All righty.
Talk to you later.
Have
a good night.
You too. Bye. 210-473-8428. We'll take one last caller just to get your thoughts on the 3-3 and the 2-4 conversation. Which teams are the best of the group? Which teams you think may struggle, whether it be because of their upcoming schedule or what have you? There's a lot of teams all bunched up, and there's a lot of games next week that have to do with 2-4 versus 2-4, 3-3 versus 3-3, 3-3 versus 2-4. There's almost a handful of them out there, and if you want to, if you want to give your thoughts, share your thoughts, we'll take those quickly before we head off the air and wrap up week 7. Week 6. I just want to give you your programming notes once more, and I'll do that here after we take 409. You're on the SFL Postgame Show.
Shamari Mito, Houston Hyenas.
All right, Mr. Mito, you got to give me your thoughts and opinions here on who's. Do you know of the 3-3 and the 2-4 teams?
Well, I know that Houston is one of those 2-4 teams, but I did hear you say that there were 11 teams in the Simulation Football League with the same record of 3 wins and 3 losses.
Isn't that crazy?
And I know 2 of Yes, it is crazy. But, I mean, if you think about it, what's the playoff structure in the Simulation Football League? Is it kind of like some other football league where the team with the best record, where the 2 teams get the you know what I mean, right?
I do know what you mean. You're fired up tonight. I got to tell you, I love it. You got Los Angeles coming up, a battle of 2 and 4 squads on Wednesday. You didn't get a chance to call in when the Hyenas got their victory against Cleveland, but it sounds to me like you sort of speak for the rest of the Hyenas when you say that morale and energy is high around this franchise right now.
Well, I can say that morale and energy is high up, and I didn't call in when they defeated Queen City either in the championship rematch, but still, I guess you can say morale and energy is up. We just need to get those 2 more wins just so that we can be liable for playoff contention. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, hey, if you're all bunched up with a bunch of 10 other teams, I mean, somebody's got to make the playoffs out of that group. A lot of teams will make the playoffs out of that group, 4 to be in fact. And you never know, a team that's 6-0 or 5-1 right now, they could crumble. And we've seen stranger things in the SFL. So still a lot of season left to be played. And Jamari, I appreciate your enthusiasm and your excitement for Week 7 because we got it. And we're excited for it too. So we hope to see you on game night.
Yeah, that's cool. And I gotta ask, who are the Hyenas playing next week? I checked the SFL website, but I kind of forgot.
It's the Sharks. You got a battle of 2 and 4 teams on Wednesday night, and that game will be commentated by Andy Hamilton. It's his first play-by-play gig in the SFL. So we're happy about that.
Oh, wow. Well, in that case, I'm pretty sure that game between the Sharks and Hyenas, which I will be a part of the Hyenas that night, I mean, I just hope that it gets a lot of eyeballs interested, especially seeing the fact that you never know which 2 teams out of those 2 and 4 teams, I'm hoping it'll be us, that can turn the tide, turn the season around, and actually make something of themselves going into the playoffs at the end of the season.
There you go. Week 7 is crucial, and Jamari Mito makes some good points to validate that. Mr. Mito, we appreciate your time, man. Thanks for the call.
You're welcome, Mr. Irvine, anytime.
All righty. Talk to you later. All right, that concludes the SFL postgame show. Man, I love it. I love the energy around here. NFL who? Week 7. A statement week for a lot of teams around the league. Houston and Los Angeles, a battle of 2 and 4s. Tallahassee and Orlando, a battle of 3 and 3s. Baltimore, 3 and 3. Carolina, 2 and 4. We got the big showdown in the East between Dallas and Louisville. We got NYC and Queen City, a battle of 2 and 4s going at it. Week 7 means a lot. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. It starts Sunday, 6 Central, 7 Eastern. Baltimore and Carolina headlines, along with D.C. and Cleveland. And, man, there's so many games on the schedule, I can't even remember what comes next. But just check simulationfl.com. It's all there. I'm Cameron Irvine saying good night. And enjoy a couple of days off before Week 7. It's underway.